Welcome back to Rick Reviews Video Games, where I, Rick, review video games. Up today is my review of 2014's Far Cry 4. In case you're someone who has been following along, and I know there are ones of you, you might be wondering why I keep reviewing games that are old. Well, it's because I review what I play, and my tastes vary so much that sometimes I want to play an old game, and so here we are. I'm reviewing a wildly popular game series 6 years after the fact for almost no one to watch, and then I'm going to send my opinions into the void, or as I like to call it, Monday. For today's review, there will be spoilers. I don't think I ruin anything, but I also don't want you to get mad if you hear things about the game. Far Cry 4 takes place in the fictional country of Kyrat, which seems to be a blend of India, Tibet, and Nepal. You take on the role of Ajay Ghale, the prodigal son of the legendary freedom fighter Mohan Ghale. The catalyst of your journey is your mother's last wish, to take her back to Lakshmana. As you return to your homeland, you're quickly waylaid by King Pagan Min. This dude is a total honey dripper. The man sweats charisma. It just slides down out of that coiffed hair as he draws in your attention. Oh yeah, and he's a ruthless despot who pays little mind to the torture and murder he's carried out. As an aside, Far Cry 4 is a lesson on how to open a game. It's like boom pow and you're hooked right away. It came as little surprise when the game was over that I learned Pagan was voiced by Troy Baker. That dude is like the Denzel of voiceover. Anyway, so there you are at Pagan's castle, and it's all very tense. And so you decide to escape. Upon your escape you meet Sabal and Amita, the leaders of the Golden Path. This organization is devoted to freeing Kyrat from Pagan, and you quickly learn that your father started this little group. As you perform mission after mission and begin to tip the balance of power, you start to see that neither Sabal nor Amita are as idealistic as you might hope. It kind of leaves you with this feeling that maybe you're helping Castro overthrow Batista. There are also a myriad of side quests. Some of the best ones involve Yogi and Reggie. These two stoners repeatedly dose you up, and it makes for some pretty trippy adventures. In general, you end up doing drugs a whole bunch. Like, more than experimenting. Like, Ajay, I think you have a problem. At one point, you take a joint from Yogi, and you have to remind them that they're supposed to inject you with something. It's pretty bananas. In terms of gameplay, this is a Ubisoft version of a first-person shooter. What I mean by that is, it really feels like Ubisoft takes the same approach to mechanics, maps, and mission styles for all their games, or at least the games that I play. Huge maps, tons of bite-sized missions, attempts at making the missions replayable, and conquest-style map progression. If you've played Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon, The Division, or even Watch Dogs, you should understand what I'm getting at. I'll come out and say it. It's getting a bit stale. Now, that stale approach can be overcome with great gameplay, and here, I don't think it quite does that. Look, I know this is a 6-year-old game, and it wears its age, but, and this is a bit inside baseball here, I actually played Rage 2, then I started Far Cry 4, took a break to play Wolfenstein, then came back and finished Far Cry. And the point I want to make here is that Wolfenstein came out 6 months before Far Cry. But in terms of both form and function, Wolfenstein doesn't feel as old as Far Cry does. Far Cry feels like a PS3 360 era game. In addition to that old feeling, the FPS here gives me a bit of claustrophobia. There are some games that can really give you a sense of peripheral vision, but Far Cry certainly does not. It's like your head is in a box. I can't count the number of times I was flanked by animals, enemies, or even cars. With the story being so captivating and the gameplay being so mediocre, I'm left with some mixed feelings on this review. On the one hand, Pagan Min is one of the best villains I've faced off against. But on the other, the map is so huge and you have so many activities, he feels diluted. And I know there's this principle that less is more, but consider Darth Vader. He's only in episode 4 for about 8 minutes, but his presence is looming and potent, which leaves an incredible impact. Now, consider if A New Hope was 30 hours long and he's still only in it for 8 minutes. That kinda sucks. But man, these cutscenes are so carefully crafted. There's some real attention to detail here, like this scene.
Your mother, she never spoke of me, never mentioned me. No, we'll change all that. All I need cash.
How much do you need?
All of it. Thank you. Here we go. All right. Like this, with the smile.
That's you.
That's me. Although I'm not so sure anymore. Now, your mother, on the other hand, she understood me. She knew me.
The way that dude tilts his head at you, just to give you this little warning, not to do anything crazy. You can see that there's this subtleness of the character movements, and in that tiny attention to detail, you get drawn in. It makes the moment feel more real. That's great stuff there, and you will see this throughout the game. It really blew me away, and it isn't something you see all that often. It shows a very deliberate approach to making this game. That TLC though, it's easy to forget, because you spend so much time hunting for supplies, crafting sacks, breaking masks, skinning animals, turning wheel thingies, and so much more. It felt like a Thai food restaurant. There's like 500 things on the menu, but I just want pad Thai. And this game forces you to play those extra parts of the game, even when you don't want to. For instance, early on, missions stop appearing on the map unless you take back a fort or race a car. I don't want to race a fucking car. I hate racing cars. Stop making me eat pad see ew. I don't want to try the Penang curry. Give me pad Thai, goddammit. Okay, I'll take some chicken satay. With the peanut sauce, of course. And some of those cream cheese stuffed golden butterflies. Those are so good. Is it just me, or is anyone else hungry now? And we're back. Where was I? I can't find my spot. So let's just jump to the end. That last charge towards your final goal was great. The music kicks in and you get caught up in the moment because it has weight and it just feels fun. That all leads to this wonderful conclusion. There are two endings. One is this moment that is like a shot to the face and it feels like the right conclusion. But the other offers this really great moment where you get to learn some stuff about the characters. So pick one, then look the other one up. All this leads me to be conflicted on the score. I feel like this game is a 7.5, but we don't do decimal points around here. So I really need to determine, is this a 7 or is this an 8? I know one person who loves the Far Cry series more than anyone else, and maybe she can help me decide. Welcome, Mother. What did you think of Far Cry 4?
I don't know. I loved it. I loved the bad guy. I thought he was very, God damn it, these are not right. Just start again. I thought he was very personable for a bad guy. Like, he was just funny as hell. I loved how he taunted him all the way through the story. I loved his interaction. Like, you can beat him up, but don't kill him. You know, I loved that AJ found out who his parents really were. I don't know, I just liked it. So it didn't make me cry. I didn't like go, oh, boo-hoo, bring to that. But it was just, I thought the game was just fun. I would give Far Cry 4 an 8.
Well, that settles it. Far Cry 4, it's a 7. So here's the value added. Right now this game sits at about $30 full price, but it regularly goes on sale. Like all Ubisoft games, there is way too much content and a grotesquely large map. So if you want, there's easily 100 hours of content here, or you can speed your way through the story in about 30 hours. So if you like open world games with middling mechanics and a banging story, then pick this baby up. And if nothing else, you get to listen to this dude here.
Herat,
I'm sure you will all be delighted to know that the reports of my death are completely and utterly inaccurate.
And do a bunch of drugs. Thanks for joining me today. I've been having fun making these videos for all 7 of you. And if you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. You can now follow me on Twitter and leave a comment below. Catch you guys next time. Bye.
Can't forget that. Don't worry, we know CPR. Yeah.
So one by one